Hey guys, good to see you on another fine Tuesday afternoon, which is actually fine, which is unusual in this country. So let's go with it. So one of the questions we got asked today, or rather one of the questions that someone sneakily wrote on my whiteboard with a little bit of a smile on his face, and absolutely no problem with that whatsoever, is quite simply, does it get easier? Well, that is a very good question, and the answer is actually over here on the other wall. So let me see. And what's the answer to this? Does it get easier? You just get better. So, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to start this with a story, because Thomas likes his stories. Do we all remember when we were 12 or 13 years old and our parents told us something like, you can't have that, it's too expensive. And we all sat back and we said to ourselves, is like, when I grow up, I'm going to have a job and I'm going to have money and I'm going to buy this thing. And what happened when you got there? It wasn't quite that simple. Okay? It's not to say there was anything negative with that kind of talk or that kind of idea, but the reality is often quite at a disconnect to what we currently believe. And when people say to us things like, does it get easier? It's like, well, in a number of things, if we're talking about actually training in the gym, does it get easier? Well, on the one hand, it does. If you look at it from an objective point of view, if I put someone on that bike over there, I should probably turn this way, that bike back there, over there. If I put someone on that bike on their first day for 1 minute and I tell them to do a certain speed, they might find that very difficult. If I ask them to do the same thing in 6 months, they're going to find that very easy. So yes, that did get easy. But does it get easier here in the gym? Well, I guess that's one of the problems with the things that we do in here. Not a whole terrible amount. Because the problem is, you get better. And we're always trying to push a little bit of a stimulus. If you're doing the same thing every day, you're not going to have the benefit that you're looking for. So, you get better. It shouldn't necessarily get that much easier. It should start to become routine, and it should start to become easier to maintain and go forward like. But as we said about the little kid there, when you were the 12 years old and you were sure that you could have everything when you grew up and you could have the fast car and you could eat all the chocolates whenever you wanted. But the thing is, like everything in life, there are consequences. And you have to make choices. And this idea that you will eat whatever the hell you want every day and have the body that you want, those are two very conflicting ideas. You can eat whatever you want and stay nice and thin if you're running a marathon every day. If you're cycling 100 kilometers every day, then yes, maybe you can because you're burning such a massive amount of calories. But the reality is, if your job involves sitting at a desk and you are trying to eat lots of chocolate and cakes, it's very difficult to maintain that lean physique. If you have that idea in your head, you need to stop and think and see, if you're looking at these people with these bodies, think about how they're eating. Because most of them are putting it on Instagram and they're not eating crap every day. If you're looking at those bodies and it is not what you're eating, there's a clue there. That's what you need to realize. So does it get easier? You just need to change your expectations, I guess. If you expect to eat chocolate and cake all day and lose weight, it's probably not going to happen. Does it get easier in the gym? To a degree. You'll be able to do the same exercise you did 6 months ago, and that's going to be easier, which is why you get a tougher exercise. So the gym session should still be relatively tough, but you should find that your day-to-day life feels easier. Your recovery feels easier. You feel better the day after. You find it easier to get up in the morning and you have more energy. All of these things get easier. All of these knock-on effects, that you have great mental focus, you're able to get up in the morning, you're able to go to bed, you sleep better. The amount of times that people come in here and they say, I never realized how bad my sleep was. And 3 months later, they're like, now I sleep like a baby. Now I sleep great. We have a couple of guys who come in night shift, and the difference it has made to them to come in here after they work. So these guys, they get up at something like, Jesus, I'm horrible on the routines now. They're getting up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. They're staying up for a few hours. They go to work at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. And then they get off work and they come here and they're training here at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I've had 2 or 3 of these guys, and they said it was the best investment they made in their lives in the previous couple of years, because it helped them get to sleep. And at the beginning, dear God, that was hard. The guy has been up for God knows how many hours and worked a 10-hour shift, and now he's come to do a training 1 hour before he goes to bed. Yes, that was hard, but it did get easier, and the rest of his life got easier because of that. And that's what you got to think. It's like, what do you want to be easier? If you want the gym to be easier, you're probably not going to make progress. But if you want your life to be easier, maybe it's worth thinking about. Maybe it's worth, for that hour that you're here, to leave it all behind you. Not necessarily walk out the place destroyed. That's not the point. But leave a good bit here. Don't be trying to spare yourself too much. Just enough. And there. So it does get easier. Life gets easier. You'll level up. You know, that's what happens. And then we have to bring the next level to you. So, a bit rambly. We like the rambly ones every now and again. And a bit wavy, me and my camera in the gym. So at least we have some visual interest to look around us. I'm all alone here. So nonetheless, don't be alone like me on a Tuesday. Tune in and we'll be together. Take care.